Welcome back to Blood 2, the Nightmare levels.
Well, I suppose it is my turn, yes? My. Like Ophelia, I have a secret. Doubtlessly, you two have heard of JoJo, the idiot circus boy.
Of course. When I was a child, my papa would take me to the freak show every year. And every year I would see JoJo. I used to throw little clumps of dirt at him.
Yes, well, I remember that. You see, I was JoJo. Unemployment did not cover evil cultists in those days, and the only place an out-of-work tattooed man could find work was the circus. So, for a time, I became JoJo. The previous JoJo passed on the revered mantle of JoJo-ness to me, and it was with proud grace that I strutted out onto the stage on my first day. Then, bastard little dirt throwers like yourself taught me what it really was to be a freak. After a year of that, I was a prisoner to my own low self-esteem. One day, though, it all changed. Chernobog spoke to me and did bid me to free myself of this mortal mockery. And so I did. But it was not easy.
Ishmael, listen.
JoJo hears, Master.
You are JoJo no longer. Go, kill these mortals and come to my side. We have much work to do.
JoJo hears and obeys, Master.
This time we get to play as Ishmael for a level. I misspoke last time when I said Ophelia was given Ishmael's stats. The numbers were still hers, it was just that strength and intelligence were swapped for some reason. Ishmael skews towards even higher intelligence and even lower strength. Get used to 100 health because we are not getting above that at any point today. I'm gonna get it out of the way right now. The long and short of this level is that it really is not designed with Ishmael's stats in mind. If anything, it feels like the devs decided one level needed to be a run through hell. I can't imagine anyone except the most obsessive, fun-killing hardcore types thinking that this is a good level, much less a fun one. It's less an expansion for Blood 2 and more a look into the future of what the initial release of Daikatana had in store. The gist of it is that you need to know exactly where to go, exactly where several enemies will try to ambush you from, and exactly when to grab specific ammo pickups. I managed to get a relatively clean run on camera, but trust me, attempts to get to know the level beforehand were the single worst part of this entire playthrough. Anyway, our first stop is in here to grab this key. With that, we can unlock that trap door into the fish tank.
The catch of the day, I presume.
This is most likely a reference to the Fiji mermaid, a fake mermaid created by sewing the head and torso of a monkey onto the back half of a fish. The original specimen was bought by one Samuel Barrett Eads in 1822 and displayed in London until Eads' death, whereupon his son sold it to Moses Kimball in 1842. He in turn would bring the mermaid to New York City and convince Phineas Taylor Barnum, the famous showman and purveyor of curiosities, to display it to the public. It's been said that it was so unconvincing, except to Samuel Eads, who stole $6,000 from his own ship to originally purchase it, that Barnum himself would later market it as a, quote, genuine fake, until it was apparently consumed in one of the many fires to strike his museum in the 1860s. And for those who just have this playing in the background or something, all of that information accompanied me swimming through a tunnel that was, in fact, too long for my oxygen supply. Anyway, as far as the actual game is concerned, this is the most important early area of the level because it's where you finally get a bullet-firing weapon that's worth a damn. As fun as dual MAC-10s can be, 100 bullets simply is not enough to make them worth using. Can't go wrong with the M16, unless it's a Vietnam War-based game or something. But hey, we're just about 120 years before that, so we'll be totally... wait. Anyway, next stop is to the top of that tent we found the first key in. There were actually two keys there, but the only way to grab the second one is by dropping down from the top. At least this guy seems full. That or he choked to death on the other guy's ass. This key opens the gate back in the beginning area. It's amazing how ambushes that are cakewalks in the first level of the expansion suddenly go back to being the painful slog that I'm more likely to just run away from like in the base game. Fortunately, this area is wide enough that it's easy to run without having to deal with more than one of them.
Fudge. There is most definitely no love in this tunnel.
You know what this level was really missing? This level is just going to get less and less reasonable as we go on. While we're here, the music that's finally starting to play in the background is made up of various parts from the CD version of the music for Dark Carnival from the first game, the first episode's 4th level.
Such irritable distractions.
And now that I've used up all of my ammo, guess what's coming up? If you guessed a shooting gallery primarily involving enemies with guns, you guessed right. And they can't even give you the common damn courtesy of making it easy to get in here. Fortunately, getting in grants full health, full ammo, and a weapon that's actually worth using in Ishmael's hands. Next stop is Drudge Lords. You dodge their attacks by simply standing still near the center of the boat. It works, but it goes against the logic every previous encounter would have instilled in you by this point. I think you get the point, so I'll skip ahead. Third stop, more guys with guns. It's really probably better to ignore them because you most likely won't have the ammo to take care of them properly after 2 Drudge Lords. After that, the game takes it easy for once, so we get some more ammo, including grenades for the M16, and armor. This is, of course, an affront to the god of bullshit, so a Drudge Priest spawns in the way and lets out several Bone Leeches. Ishmael is definitely not equipped to handle one of these. Okay, one spawning in at every fucking corner would be overkill even for Caleb. Fortunately, after this area, we're past the complete bullshit and heading back into the stupid but vaguely manageable.
I am no longer amused.
Highlights include the half-man, half-woman, a common sight in early 20th century sideshows.
Oh my. Looks as if he had to split.
Particularly Josephine Was, most famous for her appearance in the 1932 film Freaks. They also grant us access to the orb. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say right here, I forgot to use the secondary fire on camera. I tried it during a test run and mouse issues got in the way. Suffice to say, this thing doesn't control as well as something like the Redeemer. Jesus Christ. Ishmael still speaks in the Cabal's language from time to time. Amusingly, that word apparently means shit. Even Ishmael realizes what's up with this level. Anyway, our next stop is the Penguin Boy, who was holding on to the key to the next gate. I'm not sure if this is a reference to any sort of sideshow attractions that were common in the 19th or 20th centuries, since the only results I get are from a guy who wasn't active until about a decade after this game came out. Fortunately, we're almost at the end. You all heard that, correct? Yes, they finally placed ammo in an intelligent manner, and they still fucked it up because the enemies already in that area can pick it up before you even get in there. The design of this tent's roof isn't helping. Yes, we have to fight a behemoth again, in extreme close quarters, while playing as a guy who maxes out at 100 health. After way too much time spent fighting an enemy that wasn't even interesting the first time, we can finally leave.
Well, that wasn't so bad. I wonder if I'll ever miss the smell of my own dung mingled with hay.
Freaking time warps. I'm getting sick of this.
Oh, hello there. Have you any bananas by chance?
What? JoJo?
Quite.
Well, I'll be damned. Hey, can you do that tightrope act for me real quick? I always love that one. Uh-oh.
I don't even need to say anything. I think you get it. The exit's right behind the one in the center. Next time, it's Gabby's turn. I'll see you then.